Next on Eyewitness News this morning, thousands of runners are in town for the annual Walt Disney World Marathon this weekend. We are live there as participants get ready to take off.
And they will start dry, but we may get a few showers midway through the foot race here coming in from the Gulf. I'm updating Future Track, more rain on the way.
Plus, 3 people from Marion County are in jail for their role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. These stories in your complete local forecast. That's next on Eyewitness News.
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
It is the last day of a long weekend for runners taking part in the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. We are learning how this event has become an inspiration for people all over the country. Good morning to you. It is Sunday, January 7th. I'm Carla Ray, and your time right now is 5 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us here this morning. For those of you not running a marathon, you're up early. The marathon runners were certainly up earlier than this. And as we get you out the door, a live look outside of our downtown Orlando, we're off to a pleasant start. Let's get over to Certified Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry up early this morning. Shake it out, Tom. I got the coffee on deck for you.
Gotta get ready to go. Got mine ready too. Thank you. We'll need more. It's just getting started. First of all, we have a weak front down to the south. A little bit cooler, mainly 50s to low 60s now. And a little rogue batch of downpours coming onshore along the Gulf Coast. So passing showers between now along to the west through around 9 o'clock. They're moving fairly quickly. They're not real heavy and they're not real, not a large area, but still some scattered downpours along 75 up in Marion County. This batch off the coast here is what we're going to be watching moving up the I-4 corridor. So in general, around daybreak here in a couple hours, we'll have those passing showers, which will move through, and by noon should already be along our opposite coast and moving out. So middle 60s. This evening, the clouds are back again, temperatures in the 50s. So we've got to start with some passing showers, and then, Carla, we have more big weather to talk about coming up in the upcoming work week.
Yeah, we know you're going to be busy over the next few days. All right, thank you, Tom. Right now, we want to give you a live look at Disney's theme park, where the first set of racers just took off from the starting line. It is the final day of the Walt Disney World Marathon weekend. It's been happening all weekend long, starting with the 5K, the 10K, the half marathon yesterday that was cut down to just 7 miles or so because of the weather we had. Right now, they are about to take off there from the starting line. The first set of fireworks running up, and here they go. There are thousands of people who come from all over the world for this race every single year here in Central Florida. And you can see they've got the enthusiasm out there this morning. Pretty good running weather as well. And as far as Tom said, for those early runners, they shouldn't run into any raindrops or any issues. We're going to bring you these live pictures throughout the morning, the excitement of the race, and of course let you know who those winners are. As soon as they cross the finish line, we'll have full continued coverage right here on Eyewitness News this morning. Meantime, Floridians could see the abortion issue on the ballot this year. There's a proposed constitutional amendment to ensure abortion access in Florida before viability. According to the Florida Division of Elections website, more than 911,000 people have signed a petition in favor of the measure. That's enough to get the issue before voters in November. The political committee, Floridians Protecting Freedom, is sponsoring the proposed amendment. State Attorney General Ashley Moody is against placing that proposal on the ballot. She says the wording of the measure is misleading, but the Florida Supreme Court has the final say. It needs to sign off on the wording for the proposed amendment to make the ballot, and a hearing is scheduled for next month. The migrant crisis on the southern border has turned into a political battle between the mayors of New York and Chicago and the governors of Texas and Louisiana. Under a new executive order, New York City officials now require bus operators to provide a 32-hour notice prior to arrival. To avoid the mayor's new crackdown, buses carrying nearly 400 migrants arrived at train stations in nearby New Jersey.
Addison Township police officers did not know if any of those 40 individuals were carrying weapons. They couldn't be identified.
Critics accuse the governors of Texas and Louisiana of playing politics with people's lives. Back here at home, crews in Brevard County plan to shut down a road for months in order to replace a bridge. The closure of Micco Road over the Sutile Canal is scheduled to start later this month. It's expected to last up to 8 months. There's going to be a detour around the bridge until then. Crews will be making repairs, and the bridge has been up since the 1930s, so due for a facelift. New this morning, a Marion County man is in jail. He's accused of being sexually active with a minor. Deputies say say that the teen had been reported missing from Ohio, but a video game helped them find her. Deputies say 31-year-old Thomas Ebersole met the 16-year-old online. He drove to Ohio to meet the girl, and then they drove back to his home in Dunellen. Investigators say he admitted to having a romantic relationship with the teen and had planned to hide her in his home and make her his wife. He's facing several charges this morning. And the FBI arrested 3 people from Central Florida who were part of the Capitol riots. They're now in the Marion County Jail as well. And they're just a few of the more than 1,200 people who've been arrested in connection to the January 6th attack 3 years ago. Channel 9's Chantel Navarro has been digging through the documents relating to their arrests. Right now, police are investigating a deadly shooting in downtown Orlando. It happened just after 2 this morning on the first level of a parking garage located on South Orange Avenue. Police say a man is dead. They have not released any information about the victim or whether they have a suspect. But Orlando police, they're asking anyone with information about the shooting to call Crime Line. Winter Park police are warning that there's been a recent surge in car thefts in the area, and they tell us those vehicles impacted have been unlocked or the keys were still inside. They say that they're being taken right out of driveways and garages, both day and night. The police department is asking everyone to always lock their cars and never leave your keys inside your vehicle. Well, some parts of Fort Lauderdale may have felt a tornado pass through last night. The storm damaged boats, homes, and power lines. Residents shared video of the damaging winds moving closer to downtown, setting off sparks and flames. So far, there have been no reports of any injuries. The National Weather Service says its investigators will assess the damage there today to determine whether it was, in fact, a tornado that hit the area. All right, it is just about 5:09 on our Sunday morning, and you're not confused. Tom Terry is up early with us this morning, getting ready to put the hammer down for the weekend crew.
That's right. Well, you know, we've got some showers coming through, so I had to come in here and cover this, right?
Yeah.
We have a weak front down toward the south and a couple of showers, and I'll tell you now, the forecast models have been asleep. They are not really showing this batch of rain very well at all in the Gulf of Mexico, but it's very clear that it's there. It's not going to last very long, but passing showers between really now to the west up around approaching the villages, western Marion County, and around 9-10 a.m. give or take as it moves in fairly quickly. Right now, some showers for Ocala, down I-75. The rest of this rain a little stronger, and it's coming on shore now and will work through the area over the next 3 hours or so. Here's future track, and again, I say it's kind of out to lunch here. We've got a few passing showers, but nothing that overly stands out. So we'll keep some passing showers the first part of the day, including over in Brevard County, closer to 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning. And then during the afternoon, not a bad day today with temperatures back in the upper 60s. We're going to go for around 66 in Metro Orlando, 62 up in the villages. So rain probably till mid-morning, just passing showers. And then we have a pretty good weather pattern setting up until we get to next Tuesday, probably around sunset, our next weather alert day. We've got a lot to talk about too. Carla, coming up.
All right, Tom, thank you. Lawmakers are working to help protect children while on social media platforms. Coming up, the mandatory changes that those platforms will need to make when it comes to crimes against children. And ahead, what a survey is saying about residential help for human trafficking survivors here in Central Florida. Plus, the warning from law enforcement about a cyber scam that's caused one family to lose $80,000.
Drone 9, only on Channel 9 Eyewitness News, getting you closer over the scene of breaking news.
Drone 9, sponsored by StrataAC.com. You ought to call Strata.
I'm Clark Howard. Inflation is punching us in the gut, but I'm going to show you how to fight back on Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Good morning, 5:14 on a Sunday morning. Yes, it's me. Let me show you something that I normally see the ships departing around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. That is one of our big Royal Caribbean ships coming back into port. Dark and early, as I say, on this early Sunday. And we've got pretty good weather overall here for the next few hours. But then things start to change a little bit, but it's not going to be too long of a change. 63 degrees right now. Live current conditions still mainly 50s to the north. It was a little bit on the clammy side feeling out there early today. High humidity in the wake of the rain we had recently. 61 in downtown. Disney Marathon, if you're going to be out at the theme parks, we're going to see a quick passing shower move move through shortly after sunrise through around 9:30 or so, and then should begin to break up after that with the northwesterly wind. Overall today, some scattered mainly morning showers, and we'll make it back into the mid-60s. Here is the front that came through with the showers we just had on Saturday. Right now we've got some downpours here back to the west, and this is kind of like a little rogue batch of downpours. We saw this in the forecast models for the last few days or so, only it looked like it was going to be mainly down to the south, but surprise, here we are. We've got some showers coming through Marion County, the Villages, back in through Sumter County and back into the Gulf of Mexico. So that will pass through and work its way quickly toward the east coast and out of here. So some passing downpours, 75 coming through Tampa, the Largo area. So early warning future track, again, showing just a little bit of light rain. It'll be more than this in coverage. The forecast models needs to catch up a little bit, need to give us some coffee or something. But as we head past 11 o'clock in the morning, mainly just clouds left over for your Sunday afternoon. Downtown Orlando, a passing shower between 7 and around 10 a.m. and then temperatures start climbing back into the middle 60s, 67 in Sanford, 62 today up in Palm Coast. Then we start watching this big rascal back here to the west, a big storm system. This is going to be the strongest of the trio that we've been tracking for the last week. And right now we have already a scattered level 2 risk of severe weather. This is likely going to include a chance for tornadoes and very strong gusty winds over 60, maybe 65 miles an hour, moving in probably after sunset, but close, perhaps during the latter half of the evening commute. And also there is a little bit higher risk for tornadoes than we normally see with a storm system, but this is an El Nino type pattern. The jet stream is stronger, it's farther south, so this is the ways down the road, but we're going to be talking a lot about this. So start thinking now about those Tuesday plans, as that's going to be our next weather alert day. In the meantime, passing downpours between now and around 10 a.m. give or take. We'll see a passing shower also on Monday. I'll be updating future track, and we'll take that timeline all the way through the middle part of the week, coming up a little bit later. Carla?
Well, a teenager in Utah is safe after being the victim of a scam known as cyber kidnapping. Scammers are targeting foreign exchange students and their families and walking away with tens of thousands of dollars. ABC's Derek Dennis explains. There's a proposal in Congress to help tech companies improve safety for kids on social media. It's called the Report Act, and it would allow social media platforms to keep content related to child exploitation investigations for up to a year. Right now, they can only keep it for 3 months. It would also make it mandatory for platforms to report crimes involving federal trafficking and enticement of children.
Making that a mandatory reporting requirement will not only help us provide services to all of those children, but it also will enable those reports to go to law enforcement.
The Report Act passed the Senate with bipartisan support last year. There's also a similar bill up for discussion in the House. It was a scary moment for passengers on a flight headed to Alaska, and now some Boeing planes are being grounded for maintenance. Coming up, we're hearing from passengers who say the scare felt like a life or death situation when this door opened up. And next, our 9 Investigates team, we're digging into home warranties and what you need to know before purchasing a policy. Some first-time home buyers in Orlando reached out to our 9 Investigates team after a giant crack formed across the floor of their new home, and they learned that their home warranty wasn't what they thought. Consumer investigator Jeff Deal tracked down the home builder to get answers and explains how to protect yourself when getting that new home warranty. Sing Construction said that it will replace the window. In this case, the construction agreement stated that there were no other warranties unless accompanied with the agreement. Thousands of runners are at Disney's theme park this morning for its annual marathon. Next, we're going to take you out there as each set of runners hit the trail for those miles.
Well, dry to start, but a quick passing shower coming through from the Gulf of Mexico. This won't ruin your Sunday, though. I'm updating a bigger storm system, though, that will be impactful in the upcoming week.
And now here are some ideas on how you can spend your Sunday. For a complete list, just go to WFTV.com/things to do.
This is Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning. Coverage you can count on.
The highly anticipated Walt Disney World Marathon is underway right now. Here they go. Thousands of runners and walkers have traveled to Orlando from all over the world just to be a part of this race. Good morning. It is Sunday, January 7th. I'm Carla Ray, and your time right now is 5:30 a.m. Thanks for waking up with us here this morning. Those marathon runners were up even earlier than us, but getting you out the door with this live look outside of our downtown Orlando. They have nice running weather to start. Let's get over to certified chief meteorologist Tom Terry in Severe Weather Center 9 up early for us on this Sunday.
That's right. Good morning, everyone. We still have a dry start to the day, but rain coming in along the Gulf Coast. It won't last very long and be too impactful. Right now, 61 in downtown Orlando. We're 50s north and west, including 58 over in Claremont by the Citrus Tower. Overall today, scattered mainly morning showers, probably out of here by 10 o'clock or so. Won't stick around too long. We had the old front that brought us the showers yesterday and a couple of heavier thunderstorms, including that tornado down in the Fort Lauderdale area. That was impressive. Then we have a little thin batch of rain coming in from the Gulf Coast. It's beginning to break up gradually as it does so, but it is still bringing a few showers to Marion County back here west near Spring Hill. A couple showers in the Villages, Lady Lake north of Leesburg, and still a batch coming in along I-75, and this would just keep trucking eastbound and be moving through in the next 2.5 to 3 hours. So for daybreak, passing showers from the Gulf, mostly cloudy by noon, and still not a bad day. Temperatures back into the mid to upper 60s, and then we start watching. This is going to be a big story for us coming up on Tuesday. So start thinking now, Tuesday, what's going on? Big storm system here by Tuesday evening. We're going to have a threat for some heavy to severe thunderstorms, including a risk for tornadoes. Here's your 7-day forecast. That's going to be our next weather alert day. Rain chances high. So we got a lot to talk about here with Future Track coming up. Carla?
All right. And right now, the Walt Disney World Marathon is underway. The first set of runners took off from the starting line just about 30 minutes ago. And Channel 9's Sam Martello joins us live. Sam, thousands of people are participating in this race, and the fifth wave just took off.
Yeah, and because there are thousands of people, that's why they're going off in groups. But race directors told us they were expecting more than 12,000 people to participate in the marathon this morning. And we actually have our crew out there live right now. We're going to go ahead and take a look at some video that is live right now. That is from that next wave that just took off from that start line. Race directors telling us the participants will get to travel across 26.2 miles over all 4 parks. And throughout the week, runners were able to participate in a 5K, a 10K. The half marathon was yesterday, and the weekend is going to wrap up with today's marathon. Look at everyone getting out there. Now the weather forced some changes to yesterday's half marathon, but it's looking like clear skies ahead for this morning's race. We are expecting the top runners in this race to finish in about 3 hours, which is crazy to me. So, of course, we'll hear from them hopefully by the end of this morning's show, and we'll continue to bring you those live updates throughout the morning. Live in studio, Sam Martello, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Really makes you think about what you can accomplish in a few hours. Thank you, Sam. Well, police in Ocala are looking for the suspect in a shooting that left one person hurt. It happened around 1:30 yesterday morning at the Berkeley Point Apartments. Investigators say the victim showed up at the hospital shortly after with non-life-threatening injuries. Officers believe this man, Kadrian Clayton, is the one who pulled the trigger. Take a good look. Detectives say if you know where he is, you should call police. A Flagler County man accused of hitting a handicapped person and driving away has now been arrested. Investigators say the victim was using his modified bicycle along Sesame Boulevard when a car hit his bike from behind. The driver, Andrew Crosswell, was found later and was arrested that same night. Along with leaving the scene of an accident, he's also charged with possession of meth and drug paraphernalia. A passenger in his vehicle was also arrested for meth possession. Approximately half of the human trafficking survivors who sought shelter or longer-term housing in a safe house last year were right here in Central Florida. And after our reporting on this issue, legislation finally put those homes under a set of new standards. And as a state survey is now showing that there are more residential programs for human trafficking survivors here in Central Florida than in any other part of the state. Now, DCF is planning to announce the rules and processes for these safe houses moving forward as soon as Wednesday of this week, so we'll keep you posted. The Federal Aviation Administration is temporarily grounding some Boeing 737 MAX 9 airplanes after this. You can see a section of a plane blew off midair. Alaska Airlines officials say that this was part of the aircraft's fuselage and it happened shortly after takeoff, but the plane was already 16,000 feet in the air. So scary. Passengers reported hearing a loud boom and a whooshing sound, and then oxygen masks dropped from above their seats.
When the oxygen mask came down, my mind was like, oh my God, something is seriously wrong. You could like hear the heavy breathing. And then from there, I just kept thinking of my family. It was hard we were all trying not to panic.
Yeah, certainly scary. Thankfully, none of the 171 passengers were seriously hurt. Several passengers, though, say that there were people sitting in that row.
I guess a boy and his mother were sitting in that row, and his shirt was sucked off him and out of the plane, and his mother was holding onto him. And she said her own little boy's phone went out, too.
Oh my gosh. The flight, which was headed for California, made an emergency landing in Portland, Oregon. The NTSB will have to investigate now how this happened. Boeing released a statement after the incident. The company says safety is its top priority, and they regret the impact this event had on airlines and their passengers. The statement goes on to say that they agree with the FAA's decision to ground and inspect similar aircrafts. The FAA says that the emergency inspections will impact about 171 airplanes worldwide. United has 79 of these aircrafts. The airline says that inspections caused about 60 cancellations so far this weekend. Alaska Airlines says about a quarter of its Boeing 737 MAX 9s have already been inspected, and the remaining inspections will be done in the next few days. Well, today, Osceola County deputies are giving out toys to kids. Coming up next, what time and where you need to be to pick up a toy.
Well, right now, still a few showers coming on shore early on this Sunday morning. They won't last long, but I'm updating a bigger storm system we're tracking for next week.
Happy Sunday. Your time right now is 5:40 as we get you a live look over in Port Canaveral. We've got a couple of our big cruise ships in port already. We've got another one coming in as we speak. You see it coming in right behind that big Royal Caribbean cruise liner. Let's get over to Certified Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry in Severe Weather Center 9. Good morning, Tom.
Morning. Love me a good cruise. Love me a good cruise. And to be up with you dark and early. 5:41 right now. 61 degrees in downtown Orlando. And we have a comfortable start to the morning. Temperatures 50s and low 60s. And generally today, quiet, but a scattered shower this morning coming in on the north side of our front that brought the rain and storms, even that tornado down at Fort Lauderdale yesterday. These are just showers, and they're on the move fairly quickly. They will not stick around for long, so you may even dodge them depending on if you're in one of these gaps. But that's generally moving toward the east at about 40 miles an hour, quickly working its way just through the Villages, Lady Lake, and back here approaching 75. So this is going to move closer, including to I-4 and the Disney Marathon, but it'll be just a brief shower between around 7 and 9 o'clock. So by the lunch hour, we should have a little bit of sun peeking through, and temperatures in the middle 60s for daytime highs today. As we head toward next week, we have our next weather alert day. That will be Tuesday, and we'll talk about that next big storm system and when the timing of that is. Carla, coming up.
All right, Tom, thank you. The Osceola County Sheriff's Office invites you to a toy giveaway for Three Kings Day. The event is for children ages 12 and under to receive one free toy while supplies last. This event was originally set for yesterday, but weather forced it to be rescheduled to today. The toy giveaway starts at noon. It'll be held at a drive-through style at the Osceola County Sheriff's Office main headquarters. Because there's such a high demand for the drug Ozempic, authorities say that crooks are taking advantage of the issue. Coming up, why they say that you need to make sure your prescription isn't counterfeit. The FDA wants you to be aware of counterfeit versions of a diabetes drug that's also being used for weight loss. Nationwide, there's been a huge rise in demand for Ozempic, and that's led to the production of counterfeit versions. So far, 5 illnesses tied to the fake versions of that drug have been reported. So now the FDA and the drug maker are testing the counterfeits to see if they include ingredients that are not approved.
There is no way to figure out what is the medication inside of the pen and whether it's going to be beneficial versus harmful.
And the FDA is advising wholesalers, pharmacies, and healthcare workers on how to make sure they have the authentic Ozempic. All right, 5:45 now on our Sunday morning. You're all turned around.
Good morning.
Good morning. Happy to see you, my friend.
Well, once ago, long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, I used to be up early all the time. But we're off to a good start. We got a few showers. We got the runners out at Disney. And I remember it was back on January 9th of 2010. It was a half marathon day, I believe, on a Saturday, where we had sleet at Disney. And it was cold. Oh, gosh, darn. Yeah, it was cold. I came in the morning. The sleet pelts were bouncing off my windshield. I didn't have to even use my windshield wipers. It was crazy. But coming from Oklahoma, sleet is not a new thing. But for here, it was unusual. That was 2010, January 9. Right now, 61, a whole different ball game today. Temperatures in the 50s and low 60s. And if you're going to be anywhere around the theme parks, we will see a passing shower between 7 and around 9 a.m. Could be as early as around 6:30. But quick passing shower, that's it. Here it is showing up on regional radar. We've got our front that gave the weather yesterday, and it continues to move slowly south. Still some downpours coming into western Flagler County, southeast Marion County, working past the junction of the Turnpike and 75. So that's heading to Leesburg and into Eustis, and then some scattered downpours. These will hold together through Claremont, Orlando in about an hour and 15, and then quickly moving toward the coast as we're watching that little shower over by the Florida Turnpike. Highs today back in the mid-60s, slightly cooler than average, but we're going to be watching. This is an El Nino winter season. We've talked a lot about this, and this means we have very strong jet stream winds coming farther to the south. This is a big winter storm, and this is going to arrive Tuesday afternoon and early evening as a severe weather system. And I'm going to go ahead and declare Tuesday a weather alert day because we really need to be watching this day. We could easily have wind gusts over 60, 65 miles an hour, maybe higher. Very strong winds in the mid-atmosphere that can get translated to the ground, and also a threat for tornadoes. That'll be Tuesday late afternoon and evening. Just something for you to kind of put in the back of your mind and make sure you have our free weather app ready to go. But in the meantime, we still have a passing shower between now and around 10 a.m. For tomorrow, Monday. A couple of passing showers as our storm gets developing in the Gulf of Mexico. And then this is Tuesday afternoon. We're still dry, but kind of a warm and gusty day. Showers and storms, possibly severe, coming in from the Gulf Coast. You see this line of storms. This will be just a big squall line, very windy, damaging thunderstorm winds, and we can get little kinks in along this where we get pockets of rotation, and that's where we're going to be watching for a tornado threat. As you can see, by around 9 o'clock Tuesday, it is out. But we are going to be watching a higher than normal risk, not only for severe thunderstorm winds, but also potential tornadoes late afternoon till around sunset. So something we're going to be watching very closely indeed next Tuesday. 7-day forecast. Weekend always in view. A passing shower between now and around 10 o'clock coming in from the Gulf. Tomorrow it's going to be more late evening showers. Then Tuesday, late afternoon through the drive time Tuesday into around 8 o'clock or so, a weather alert. We'll keep you posted there. And then yet another fast-moving storm system, Carla, by the end of next week.
Up and down and all over the place. All right, thanks, Tom. It was a struggle for both the UCF men's and women's basketball teams during conference play yesterday. Channel 9 sports anchor Jared Oliver has the recap. And here's a live look at downtown Orlando, dark and early on this Sunday morning. We'll start to see first light on this tower cam shot over the next hour. We'll have more weather and news coming up. New this morning, student loan payments resumed in October, but some borrowers are still receiving inaccurate billing statements. That's according to a new report from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. It lays out challenges that the Education Department student loan servicers have been facing since the pandemic pause ended. In addition to billing errors, borrowers are experiencing processing delays and long hold times. Coming up in the next hour of Eyewitness News this morning, 3 people from Marion County are in jail for their role in the January 6th attack on the Capitol. A look at the charges that they're now facing. And Walt Disney World's marathon is underway. We'll take you out to the theme park live where thousands of runners are participating coming up.
And they may get a quick cooling downpour in about an hour. I'm tracking some fast-moving showers just ahead.